Hi,
Okay.
Brittany.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, good. Less interested in food, so that's really good.
Oh, awesome. We love to hear that.
Yeah.
Oh, Kim, you're here. Good. Dang, I almost forgot. Okay, I feel like I started coming down with something like an hour ago, so I'm a little slow today. But I can't wait to check in with all of you guys and hear your updates. I especially want to hear from new people and also from people who are in the Purge group and the Push the Food Away group, the Echo Tapping group. I want some updates on how those groups are going. And just as a reminder, since we have such a big call, to keep your wins pretty concise and also know the question that you have, keep that concise as well, just so that we can get through everybody. Okay, so I have been working on a special gift for you guys, and we've actually been well, we created this a while ago, and we've been hosting these new calls. The coaches have been hosting these new calls that are separate from any of the other calls that you guys have access to. And I wanted to introduce you guys to these new classes that our coaches are teaching every single week. But I wanted to have Kim, our head coach, on to tell you more about it. So Kim is here, and she's just going to take a couple minutes to tell you guys how it works, when the classes are, what they're all about, and so that you can decide if it's right for you. Our goal is to have as many tools available to you as possible for your learning style. So if you're the type of person that likes to come and show up and tap, or you just want support, or you want to hear a lesson, as you can see, we have all sorts of options for you. So this is not a requirement. This is just a bonus that you guys are going to get from now moving forward, since you're in the Thrive program. Okay, take it away, Kim.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so I'm Coach Kim. We were doing the tapping circle, so we focus on, there's 5 calls per month. One of them is the hot seat call, which is just kind of like this laser call, but we end up doing some tapping. It's like a Q&A call. We do the body boundary violation, self-sabotage, emotional eating, and cravings. So it's a really good group. Like, a lot of people find that camaraderie, extra support, people cheering each other on throughout the calls. Yeah, I love it. I mean,
These are purely tapping calls, right? Like, you're
yeah,
not really teaching content. Okay, so what we did is we took the 4 biggest problems that you have, like the 4 biggest blockers, which are cravings, emotional eating, self-sabotage, and body boundaries. Okay, and we offer a live tapping class on those every single week. Okay, so you can go to all of them. You can just go to one of them. You know my style. I like to just have you focus on one thing at a time. But if you're the type of person that you just really want to do more tapping and you really like the support, you can go to one every single week, or you just pick the one that you want to go to that month. You show up, and with a group of people, you'll tap along with the help of the coach guiding you through it. Okay. Does that sound good? Are you guys happy about that? Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah. It's really nice. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. Okay, awesome, Kim. How do they find the schedule? How are we doing that? We didn't talk about that.
yeah. I mean, that would have to be just like emailed out to them, or if someone's got a link for them to join. So it's there's like one on an 8 p.m. on a Monday, and then there's 2 on 8 p.m. Monday, and then 2 on at 1 p.m. On Wednesdays.
Okay.
And then the hot seat call is at 6 p.m. on a Thursday, on the third Thursday of the month.
Okay. So maybe what we'll do is we'll just send everybody an email with the access.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And come along to the, nobody's going to force you to share. I would also find that people that are like a little bit timid, like to do something in a group, if you're used to doing something by yourself, then you come along and end up sharing wins, or you find some sort of something else that relates to someone else, you find that you'll be healing a lot more, like from doing it in a group situation and getting like vulnerable, sharing. A lot of people are doing things just by themselves. They're doing this course by themselves, but then you find they come to the classes, you get to hear other people's wins, what they're going through, and it's really beneficial. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally. There's this tapping phenomenon that Gary Craig discovered 30 years ago or whenever he discovered it. It's called borrowing benefits. And what he found was that when people would tap together in a group, that not only would they make changes, would they make shifts a lot faster, but sometimes they would shift issues that they weren't even focused on. So you could come and, maybe say you want to, there's a craving call on a Monday night and you don't really have any cravings anymore. You have emotional eating. You can show up, you can tap along with everybody else, and you can just intend that you want to work on your emotional eating. And I think pretty much it always works, right? I mean, it pretty much, so it's really, really cool. We're tapping into the magic of tapping in groups. And so there's just lots of fun ways that you can play with it. So if you're the type of person that wants a schedule, you want to do more tapping, you like the support of a group, you like the guidance from coaches, you want that accountability, this is just another option for you guys. And you don't have to tap on whatever that topic is. You can bring whatever it is you're working on to that topic. So
Yeah, good.
cool. Awesome. Thanks, Kim.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right. Okay, so thank you for all those of you who already have your hands up. I will start making my way through you now. And yeah, just let me know if you guys have any questions about the tapping circle, or yeah. Now we'll get into the Q&A part of it. Okay, Tina, and then Sydney's next. Hi, Tina.
Hi, I don't know if you can hear me. Hopefully you can.
I can, yeah.
Oh, perfect. I just joined recently. I know Sally encouraged us just to raise our hands and kind of introduce ourselves. I actually started with your 7-day tapathon, and then I went to then I got the 6-week program, and I did like a few days of that, and then all of a sudden this opportunity came up over the weekend. So I was like, oh, I have to do it. So thank you for that. And I guess we've been doing, I've been experiencing major shifts already, even with the minimal tapping that I've done. But it's almost like I'm unearthing, like, so it's great. That's a big win. But it's also like it's uncovering like this feeling of unease and anxiety. And like I'm kind of like, I don't know what to do with it. And so I'm hoping that, as I move through the Thrive program, I can get some more guidance into that, shifting that feeling in the body, because it's like I don't know what it is, but I feel it's stuck in my body, and I don't know if that's just a belief I have about it, or should I shift the belief, or should I shift focus on the sensation in the body, or so that's just my
Are you ready for some feedback?
Yes, please.
Okay, cool. I have some ideas. So first of all, it's super, super common for people to feel uneasy when they first join. Okay. The unconscious mind has been using food and the extra weight to adapt and to cope and for safety. Oh, you moved. You shut your.
Oh yeah, I think it lowered my hand.
Yeah. Okay, you guys, while we're talking, keep your hand up. Don't lower.
Okay, let me try
move
that
on my screen, and I like to see.
Oh, sure. I'm sorry. I just
okay.
raised it again.
No, it's okay. It's okay, Tina. I got you. I found you. So anyway, so the unconscious mind has been using the weight and the emotional eating to keep itself safe. There's a part of you, especially now that you've made such rapid changes, and especially, when you're going through my free stuff and you're noticing how like even the free stuff is working really well. So your unconscious mind is starting to get really nervous, like, oh shit, now I'm in the program. What am I gonna unearth next? And so there's a part of you that's afraid of actually getting over this problem. So it's really, really common. I think probably almost everybody who has joined has experienced that to some extent. So one of the things that we do is in the bonus section of your program, we give you access to, I think it's called the binge eliminator. And what that is it's the technique that we did on day one of the retreat. It's the push the food away technique. So, but it's an audio recording of me walking you through that. So if you're triggered, if you're noticing anxiety and the anxiety is making you want to eat, in that moment when you're feeling triggered and that you want to eat, go into the program, find where that is, pop that audio on, and then the next time that happens, it'll be really easy for you to find. And then just go through the instructions to push the food away, and you'll start healing the unconscious part of you that's scared to let go of this problem little by little.
Oh, that's so interesting. Yeah, it's like I want to get rid of this feeling, but then I think that's part of it is that I need to kind of not welcome it, but like, feel it. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't want to just get rid of it and not process it. I don't know if that makes sense.
Totally. So that's what all my techniques do. Like part of the pushing the food away is sitting back and sitting in the feeling.
Yeah.
So, when you eat emotionally, you're sort of like numbing the feeling out, or you're skipping the part where you feel the emotion. Just by pushing the food away, just by feeling the desire and then pushing it away, it forces you to feel the bad feeling. And then when you go back in time and you remember, when this happened to you or what this reminds you of, that's you're processing the bad feeling again. So that will be, and instead of just having to sit there in the bad feeling until it goes away and struggle with your mind, you have the active release of tapping to help lower your anxiety. And so you're able to sit in the feeling, and the emotion goes away much faster. Like in like 10 to 30 seconds, it'll be gone usually.
Okay.
So if that's your practice, and if you're really used to sitting in your feelings, you'll really
Okay.
like doing this.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're
I'm so excited to be
welcome.
here.
I'm so glad you raised your hand and you told me what was going on.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, Sydney, how are you, Sydney? You've been
Hey,
going through
Brittany.
it. Can't wait to hear your update.
Uh, I've been doing well. It's like every day is kind of different, but I think the win I'm noticing is that I'm no longer weaponizing food. It's just becoming more neutral. Like food isn't good or bad, and when I eat bad food, I'm no longer bad, or when I eat good food, I'm no longer good. Like there's just not the attachment is dissolving. So that's pretty big, to be able to like eat a bowl of pasta and not just be shaming myself.
Great. That is huge.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, well
Um,
done. I see a lot of fingers.
thanks.
See a lot of
Thank
fingers
you,
tapping.
everyone. I'm wondering about if there's a module or in some of the coursework where you talk about things and explain things, like the theories about behind these parts. If there's stuff on people pleasing, there's a theme I'm noticing: people pleasing and abandonment, and the inner rebel in me, which I'm doing a lot of resistance tapping and giving my inner rebel just room to speak. And she's just fucking pissed. She's just angry at me. Like the younger selves are just angry at me. So doing anger work directed at myself, I'm wondering about.
Mm.
As well as like anytime I see myself people pleasing or I abandon my inner child, she just gets so angry. And it's like she shuts the door on trusting me. Like in doing this work, there's trust happening, self-trust, and it can quickly just shift. And she just gets livid. Because it's in my daily life, I'll still people please or forget about I like dissociate. I go out of my body and forget about myself in a way to, it's like I'm, you know, jeopardizing my own state of like peace and staying with myself in order to make others happy or attend to other people's emotions. Like, and I feel like there's a lot of anger that's getting created over that. And it's attached to a memory and like authority figures of my stepmom and my dad. So I don't know if that's a clear question, but
Well, okay, I'm catching it. Okay, yeah, that's a lot of different threads. So one of the things that I just want to remind you of is I love the insights that you're gaining about yourself and your behavior. And it looks like you're able to identify a lot of unhealthy patterns that you've been doing in the past. What I want to caution you about and everybody else is I can see you starting to try to fix the problem without letting the food take you to where you need to go. And that's when you can tap for the rest of your life. There's always going to be problems. I've been tapping for almost all of my life. There's still always problems. Okay. So in order to get you the results that you want in this course, you're going to have tapping now for the rest of your life. You can go back and you can work on your people pleasing and all of the anger stuff. What I suggest is using where you still feel out of control around food or any kind of disorder around food as the gateway into the things that need to be worked on. I know that's a little tricky sometimes with anger, because anger is kind of this separate thing that comes up. And like when it comes up, you're kind of just angry and you don't necessarily feel hungry and angry at the same time. So that's the one exception I would say. So of all the things that you said, I think I'd like to focus on the anger that you have towards yourself.
Yeah.
And like, so the younger yous are mad at the adult you right now.
Yes. And of course, these authority figures, but I wonder about what I feel like I'm sensing in my anger lately is self-hatred, self-anger.
Okay. So
Yeah.
is it something to the effect of like, I refuse to forgive myself for XYZ?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's really tender. That's a really tender spot.
Yeah.
And what that needs is not anger. That needs something that we call refusal tapping. So basically, all you have to do is just give a voice to that part of you that refuses to forgive yourself for XYZ happening. I refuse to forgive myself for that happening. How could I have been so stupid? How could I totally judge myself? What was I thinking? Some of these really strong statements, when you say them like really emphatically, you'll clear it really quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then after, just a few rounds of tapping on that, you might have a little cry and you'll soften towards yourself. And I think at that point, the younger yous won't be so mad anymore.
Yeah. All of this feels so valid and true because it's to the point where I'm like, well, I don't want to fucking do the echo tapping, or I don't want it. Like, you're not
Yeah.
listening to me. You're not listening to this part that you just, yeah. Okay. That's great.
Yeah. And then just remember, use the food as your doorway into the memories that need to be healed. And the
Okay.
people pleasing and all of that stuff, that should go away on its own, especially once you really, really get into the anger work. With the anger work
Yeah.
around your authority figures, that shit just goes out the window. And then on top of that, we also have boundary tapping too that you can get into, but I think that's too much for you to do right now. So just keep focusing on the anger work, do the refuse to forgive myself tapping, and then go back and focus on the anger towards your authority figure.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
A lot of that people pleasing will just stop and you don't have to even try.
Cool.
Stop it. Okay.
Cool. Thank you,
All right.
Brittany.
You're doing so great, Sydney. I don't know why I have such a hard time with your name.
It's the
Sydney.
C. It's the C.
Oh, right. Because it's normally with an S.
Yeah, it's the C.
Okay. There we go.
Thank you.
All right. Bye. Okay. Ivana, go ahead and unmute yourself. Hold on. I'm just going to turn my AC down again. Got so hot. Okay. I'm back. Hi, Ivana.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
So, huh. I I'm sorry, been meeting under these circumstances. I have been trying to resolve my issues with your team. That it's not responding. I don't know if it's whoever is behind it, and it's not really giving me the proper answers, or I would say any acknowledgement of my issues. This has been happening for like 2-3 weeks now. I have submitted everything for a refund. This course has not worked for me. And I've been getting the, well, first of all, no response. Then after my 9 or 10 message, some kind of response, vague response, submitted all of my criteria to you. And then vague things like, well, the video, something was not watched, it doesn't meet our requirements, blah, 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 blah. Brittany, I found you by the grace. I think you're amazing. You're such a genuine person. I signed up for this on December 20th. In one of your courses, you said, well, I didn't, like, honestly, until this whole thing happened, I wouldn't even remember this, about the refund policy and everything. And then the things that I have submitted because of my heavy trauma, that was not actually really, I think for people who have a trauma like me, should be some disclosure about this work or anything, because I haven't seen anybody in your work come up with this type of trauma. Anyway.
Okay, wait, hold on, Ivana, my team has told me about your case.
Have you?
I do know
Okay.
about it. Yeah,
Okay.
I do know about it.
Yeah, so I just want to know where the
hold on.
discrepancies.
Okay, the requirement is that you have to go through and you have to do the first 8 weeks of the homework, and you have to watch the
Correct.
modules. And we can see in the dashboard if you've actually completed watching the modules
Correct.
and going through the
And I
courses. And so that's what they said to me, that
Correct. And I
they're
have.
working with you on. Well, they said that it wasn't showing up in our tracking that you actually went through the modules.
Oh, right, but how convenient that is. Brittany, I have asked.
Ivana, listen, we don't need to keep your money. I'm doing just fine. Okay, we don't need to keep your money. I want to help you right now. Hold on. I want to help you because you're hurting and I want to help you.
Yeah.
So I will happily give you your money back. And also, if you want to stay and you want access to a coach, you might need some one-on-one help. If you want, if that's what feels good to you, if this is kicked up a lot of trauma for you that's really old, you should absolutely be working with a coach. I 100% agree. So we have that available to you if you want to do that. And if you want that, then I can tell Emma to connect you with Sally and she can tell you how to get with a coach.
But based on the feedback that I got from your team, I don't feel safe doing that. You are offering this now based on your tracking system. I have asked Brittany, I have on the record as several emails asking what exactly you seeing is not completed, not done, whatever. Please tell me. It is not like, because I would never send this request without complying with your requirements.
Yeah.
None.
Okay.
None.
Ivana, you're the first person who's asked for a refund for
Yes.
months. Okay, so the only reason that we're having trouble with it is that it's the first time we've done it. Okay,
right.
So please have patience with us. I've heard about your request. I also have 5 people that are working underneath me. I don't talk to my team every single day. I have a manager, so I don't hear everything that's going on all the time. So if you went through all the modules and you did the work and it's not working for you, then that's the deal, is that you can get your money back. So you'll be entitled to a refund. I just wanted to offer you extra help if you wanted to keep doing this with the help of a coach. Okay, so that's the offer. Okay.
Okay, thank you. I know your public is saying this, but your work team is saying it's completely different. That's why I have lost the trust in you. I don't feel comfortable doing anything anymore because your team is saying, but it is. But
totally fine.
You were saying you marked something that I didn't complete when I have no idea what it is. And actually, I can tell you the days when I completed those homeworks, when I watched the videos and everything. Okay. So there is something missing about this.
Okay, Ivana, we'll take your word for it. Okay, we'll take your word for it. Okay,
it just
we track everything in the back system, but I'm not.
I am too.
Okay, listen, I will take your word for it. Okay. I'll call Emma tonight after this call and I'll let her know that they need to process everything. I don't know where they're at in it, but I'll let her know that she needs to process everything. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Brittany.
You're welcome. Okay. Hi, Kelly and Marzabel.
Can you hear me?
I can now. Yeah.
Okay. So huge win. Last time I came on, you had said to do a lot of anger tapping, and I've done it with towards my mom, and I can talk to her now, and I'm not triggered. So huge
Oh my
improvement.
God. Oh, that's so amazing. Well
yeah.
done. Yay. Good for you.
Yeah, she'll say stuff and I'm just like, oh, okay. So it's just a huge relief. There's
Isn't that the
true
best?
freedom in that.
Gosh.
So my frustration now is, or it's like almost like I'm kind of like I'm getting overwhelmed with life. Like last week I was sick and I was off and I was able to do nothing. And then I came back to work, started everything, and it's like, I don't know, it just the overwhelm has been incredible. And like I did the 30-day push the food away.
Oh.
And I didn't it was fine. I was able to get to, real memories. And now when I try to do push the food away, like yesterday, I knew I was triggered because I was feeling overwhelmed. It's like I'm still having some anger issues with my husband. Like it's better. And I've done the anger, I signed up, for the anger purge group, but I've just been kind of doing it more on my own because I was feeling overwhelmed with it. So, so I'm just curious what you would recommend, because it's like I'm still getting triggered with my husband, but not with my mom anymore. And so it's just like a lot of overwhelm right now. It's like life just feels like it's overwhelming me, and where I wasn't triggered with food, it's almost like I've gone backwards. And like last night, or if there's food there, it's like I want to eat it, it's I don't know what to do.
Okay, so what happened after you did the 30 days of push the food away? Did you have any break from emotional eating? Did you notice a difference in your eating at that point?
Yeah, I mean, emotional eating was pretty much gone. And then it's like I got sick, and then it was like work just came, it was just like the overwhelm just happened. Okay. I don't know. I think I realized.
So hold on. I'm just going to ask you micro questions to figure out what's really going on. Because whenever you do a lot of push the food away and then your emotional eating goes away, the only time that when it kicks up again, it's just giving you another aspect or a deeper layer that you didn't cover in the push the food away for the time that you were doing it before. So it feels like you're taking a huge step back. And I have to remind everybody, I have to remind myself, it's really frustrating when this happens, because it's you basically don't know until it's over that this is what happened. So I guarantee that it's not back, that there's just another layer of this. What kicked it off? Was it work? Was it work overwhelm? Was it being in so many groups? Was it trying to do too much tapping? Like, what kicked off the overwhelm?
When Sydney, as soon as she said the people pleasing, I was like, oh yeah, I felt the overwhelm, because it's like, my husband will ask me to do something and I want to do it. Like, for example, last night he was like, oh, I want you to stay home. And I'm like, well, I already had obligations, so it's like that feeling of, I know I should do this for you, but I already have made obligations to do other things. So then I wasn't hungry and I just picked up ice cream, and it's like I pushed the binge eliminator and it took 10 minutes, and my inner, child was like, F it, I'm eating it anyway. So yeah. I did, and then tapped on it later. But it's like that struggle. It's like that people pleasing of I know what I need to do, and I'm trying to put myself first, but it's uncomfortable because, you know what I mean? So that's, I think, where the overwhelm of recognizing what I need to do and what is reality of how many hours there are in a day and what I physically can do.
Great. Thank you for that answer. Would you say this is new clarity that you've gained recently, or because you've been, I don't know how long you've been with your husband, but I'm assuming for some time, right? Is this something that you've
Yeah.
always been aware of, where it's this dynamic where he wants you to do something and you say that you'll do it, but then you kind of go back and forth and you fight the people pleaser inside of you?
Yes, I think the awareness that has come up is now I know the difference between feeling the calmness from tapping and when I don't people please. Like there's a huge clarity around what freedom feels like and what it feels like to be stuck in the cycle of people pleasing and feeling obligated to do things and not doing it out of, like respecting myself, I guess, is where the
Yeah.
awareness has come in.
Yeah. So sometimes when we have like when we don't have firm boundaries for ourselves or we cross our own boundaries, the emotional eating can kick up again because it's a way of reminding us like, hey, I actually didn't mean yes. I said yes, but I didn't mean yes. And so it's a way, what I've always noticed with food and people who struggle with food is like food is always there to get your attention about something. So I'm kind of feeling it in that way. Have you gone through the boundary tapping workshop or the boundary tapping audio that I have in the course?
I did it one time, and it was that, I think that was the time I did it with like 3 different incidences. So maybe 2 times I did it, but I like used
Did they include your husband at all?
one of them did, yeah.
Okay. I would think about him or maybe think about this scenario that just happened and do that audio again a few times.
Okay.
Around him. I mean, just start with one time, but then if it activates again, maybe this is just like now your focus, instead of pushing the food away, your focus is on boundaries.
Okay.
And boundary tapping is really great when you pair it. If you feel it, you don't have to force yourself to feel it. But boundary tapping is really great when you pair it with anger tapping. So if at some point you find yourself in that, in the exercise, getting heated about, something that happened or wanting to like forcefully say no or, forcefully set your boundaries, let yourself do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate
you're
it.
welcome. Yeah. I'm really actually, this is, you don't really get into this like deeper boundary people pleasing stuff until you're like pretty far on your journey. So I'm actually really excited for you. I can tell you've made a lot of progress by the questions you're asking.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Kelly. Thanks for checking in. Okay, Marisabel. And then
Hi,
Karen's next.
Brittany.
Hi, Marisabel. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you. My win is that I'm noticing new behavior for myself when I go out to eat. For example, I would order something that I would usually eat all on one, only one time, and find out that I would bring it back home because I'm not hungry anymore. So I would keep it for the
Awesome.
next time. So and it just comes naturally now. So this is
so nice. So much
that's a
freedom.
win.
Yay.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I'm still a nighttime emotional eater. And I've been responsible from gathering the group of the 2-week purge anger on the challenge you gave us the last time. And we pledged to be here today to report to you how it
Yay.
went.
Thank you.
So over 50 people came in that
50
group.
people. Oh my God.
56 people. Yeah.
Wow. 56
Yeah.
people. Holy shit. That's awesome.
Yeah. And most of them all did the 5-time anger purge. And some of them all actually went over the board to 7 and 8 and 9. And yeah, so it was quite popular. so that messenger group was quite active. I had to shut down the alarm because it was popping all of really often.
I love
So,
it.
and many of us are here tonight to report how it went. I actually finished. I, I went through all my anger with my mom, and I was surprised enough to see that I still have a little something with my past father. So I was amazed that this particular event of my teen came up in anger. So it makes me part of me is glad that it came up because I never talked about that particular event, but I can see that it's not over yet because I still do eat at night when I'm alone, and I know it's uh, about being rejected, and see, the emotion is coming now as I talked about it. So there's still some work to do for me there.
Sometimes when we're dealing with things that are really tender, it's hard to tap on our own. You know, it's hard to sit with the uncomfortable feelings enough to know, to coach yourself through the tapping, and to remember what to do and say. So that's one of the reasons that we're giving you guys access to the tapping circle with the weekly calls with the coaches, so that you have that support. And then also, Mary Isabel, now that you've been in the program for a while and you know you've met so many people here, sometimes you can just call a buddy and just be like, "Hey, will you just stay on the phone with me while I do this?" Tell her what's going on. You know, and you guys can do that to support each other. This is how we used to do buddies. Back when people were really experienced with tapping, I started to promote this program to people who were like tapping therapists, essentially. And so they would know how to do that for each other. You guys are now becoming pretty good at tapping at this point. So you don't have to guide anybody through, like whoever is your buddy, all they have to do is just listen to what you're going to work on and just be there with you. Right? Sometimes just having that person there to like keep you on track, to you know, the accountability, knowing that somebody else is there, maybe offering some words of encouragement or saying you're doing a great job, something like that, can be really, really helpful when you're tapping on really challenging things. So I want to encourage you guys to ask each other for that support. You know, I'm trying to think of like a structured way to do it. You could do something like, hey, you know what, does anybody have 10 minutes or 20 minutes to just sit and tap with me? And that way the other person knows that there's a limit. So you create some limiters on your time so that that person knows when they show up, they might just only have 20 or 30 minutes that they can give you, and they know that there's going to be a beginning, a middle, and an end. And so, you know, if you guys want to start doing that, now that you're connecting with each other in the Facebook or in the WhatsApp groups, you could start offering that to each other, where one person, you know, holds space for 20 minutes. And then I wouldn't switch after that, especially if it's a really intense session. Maybe come back the next day, figure out what times you're going to swap for each other, and give each other, you know, both 20 minutes of just presence and being there with each other to work on some really heavy things. This is also good for the buddy calls too. You know, you can bring some of the, you can be there. Actually, I probably wouldn't bring this to the buddy calls. I would bring these to the tapping circle calls with the coaches. Make sure there's a coach there. Yeah. Does that
I do have a buddy for since the beginning of the program, and it's every Wednesday night we meet for an hour, and we just bring someone new to our meeting last week. And this is really becoming the only steady thing in the program is meeting Wednesday night together. But thanks for the suggestion to do the tapping together, because we're keeping each other posted on where we at. but
Yeah.
we don't tap on those occasions. So I'll bring it to my group. Thanks.
Great. Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks, Marisabel. And thanks for putting that group together too. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Awesome. Can't wait to hear some more purge and push the food away updates. Karen. Go ahead and unmute yourself. Let's see. Can't hear you yet.
Here we go.
There we
Okay,
go.
can you hear me? Yay!
Yeah.
Okay, I
Mhm.
just raised my hand because Sally told me to
Nice.
introduce myself. I just joined after that 2-day live tapathon. For some reason, that just
Awesome.
really did it for me. I've actually had your other program for several years, and I don't know, it's just the time, the time's right. And today I had my call with Sally. Then I went to a
Great.
buddy call at noon, and I learned so much from that. A couple of people brought scripts that they had written, and it really enlarged my thinking about that. And I have questions, but I don't want to bring any of them up now because I think that I'm going to learn a lot in the next couple of weeks. And I know I have a lot of, everyone keeps talking about doing anger work, and I'm not an angry person, which probably means that I have it like tamped down so far that I can't feel it.
You know what, Karen, I said the same thing about myself too. When I first started doing, I was teaching anger work before I really tapped into my anger. So sometimes it takes a while to access it,
Yeah.
but that's something we can talk about and I can help you with.
Yeah. And I lost my mom last July, and she was the central figure in my life growing up. And she was like my hero. And then like a
Great.
couple of years before she died, I found out that she had lied to me about like all kinds of things, but she's already going into dementia, so there was not any closure. So I'm really looking forward to getting some help with all of that, because I got a lot to work through there.
Yeah. Well, it goes faster, even though, yes, that sounds horrible and that sounds like a lot of trauma. It's surprisingly, it goes much faster than you think it will go. So, especially when you apply the techniques that you'll learn in the class.
I want to get that out of the way and recover, the good feelings that I have.
Awesome.
Every relationship has good and bad.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly. Good
and
plan.
I don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater.
There we go. That's great. That's a great perspective. Well, thank you for checking in and saying hi, and thanks for trusting me and joining me.
Thank you.
All right. Talk soon, Karen. Okay, Jennifer was next. I saw Rhonda pop on. I think people are like, Jennifer, go ahead and raise your hand or unmute yourself.
Hey. Sounds good. So I was part of the Purge Challenge group.
Ooh,
and
how'd that go?
It went well. It was really fascinating because I got through the 5 in the first week, and then I found myself being like, well, if I can do 5, then surely 10 is better. And I found myself being
an overachiever.
That's me.
Yeah.
Perfectionist, overachiever. And
Yeah.
I only got a couple into that, and I did really, I think I did too much, and I got kind of burned out. And I also had some challenges of not having a whole lot of alone time at home, so that I had that sort of safe space to get the anger out. But it was really fascinating to me because, like Karen was saying, I avoid anger. I avoid confrontation. But it was really fascinating to see the things that came up, and the times when I knew who I was going to tap on, and the times when I just started tapping and I was like, oh, I guess I'm dealing with this. And sometimes it was something that I didn't realize I was really that mad at, but it felt really good to get it out.
Yeah. Awesome. It has its own intelligence in that way. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Cool process.
Yeah. So several of the people that I tapped on, I know I need to do more sessions doing that, because there was still stuff there, but it still felt good to have made sort of the realizations that came up, as well as the progress in that process.
Awesome. Have you noticed any changes in your eating since that?
Well, yes, but not for the better.
Okay.
I feel like I've sort of veered off into this lots more emotional eating and a lot more resistance to no, I know I'm supposed to tap. I know I'm not supposed to be doing this, but I don't want to. And some of it, it's something that often sabotages me at some point in things is that I'm very much a rule follower. So if there are rules, I will follow them. But I've found that when I realize that I can break the rules and the world doesn't fall apart, then following the rules is completely out of the picture for me. And
Okay,
it almost
let
feels
me
like
give you a rule.
that's
Let me give you a rule. Okay. With anger tapping, the way you know you're done is if you cry or you feel so exhausted that like your whole body feels heavy. If you are through a few rounds of tapping and you feel really energized and alive, that's a sign that you haven't completed the anger work, and that will actually make you eat more, and it'll make you like have a miserable couple weeks because you're
okay.
activating it and then you're not giving it the full completion that it wants. So there's more shit that will come up to the surface that's like usually shoved really deep down in there that you don't have access to. So
Okay.
do you feel like you were maybe stopping before you were done?
I don't know. I mean, tears come easily to me in general.
Okay.
So I had thought that I was going to a sense of completion, but it very well could be that that I didn't for certainly probably not for all of them. So that could very well be part of what triggered it is that so now that I'm where I am, how do I recover?
Yeah. So maybe because and I want you to keep this in mind for next time too. Maybe because you did the overachiever thing, there's a part of you that's like, I don't want to do this. Like anger work's really hard to do, which is why I only told you to do 5 and not 1 a day.
I know.
Right? Okay. So there's a part of you that's probably like lost a little bit of trust or lost a little bit of motivation with yourself. And so I think something around like tapping on, I don't want to do it again. I don't want to tap. I'm totally resistant. I don't want to have to face this stuff. It's too much work, something like that. Just addressing the part that feels kind of overwhelmed that like you made work too hard, giving that a voice, giving her a voice, and just doing
Okay.
some tapping and also some self-soothing and just going, apologizing, be like, oh, I'm so sorry. I was trying to get us there too fast and that was too much. And I know I do that sometimes. Just acknowledge your part of it, right? Like, I'm trying
Yeah.
to get us there faster. I'm so sorry. That was too much. What if we rein it back in and we just do, push the food away every other day or something, so come up with your own agreement, because now you have to come up with your own agreement with yourself.
Yeah.
So what if we just do push the food away, or, what if we just do tap and bitch, every day or every other day or something until you feel better, until you want to do anger work again. Like you don't have to do any anger work until you actually want to do the anger work. Yeah. Maybe.
Apparently that's hitting a chord.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah. Sometimes we just need to give ourselves permission to be kind and go slow. Yeah. Okay. Well, I hope that helps.
Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome. Thanks, Jennifer. Okay. Crystal. Rhonda, I'll come to you next. Hey, Crystal. There you go. You got it right on the button.
I'm right there, poised. Sometimes I don't have a lot of circulation, my tips of my fingers, and so touch screens sometimes don't react.
Oh,
I don't have heat.
well, you got it. Let's work this time.
Yeah. So I took part in the purge group. I've only done 4 times. I haven't, because I've been taking days in between to just let my body and my mind all kind of assimilate what happen.
Great.
But I had amazing results. Amazing. Some anger that I didn't even know I had against someone, like, oh, maybe I should be angry at this person. And then I wasn't. I went, oh, good. Okay. But then other times, somebody that I thought I really held anger for was harder to get to. But I had several sessions where I just felt like I purged, like things were just the sounds, the screaming. Uh, Kim did that one with me, and I think I screamed at the top of my lungs for a good minute and a half. I just didn't even know how much I had to release. And so that was very powerful. And our last session with Kim, I actually ended up kind of throwing up. So I
wow.
know that I reached deep into my gut, and that's where all my physical problems are, is right
Oh,
at the base of the sternum. That's where I get the pain. That's where I get that. Yeah. And so it felt like I was just bringing that all up. So it was really great. And what I'm noticing and what I've been doing, especially this last week, is that I'm throwing more food away than I am eating, So if I dish something up and I go like, I'm really full. I don't really need anymore, and I'm actually throwing it away. And that never would have happened before, where I can catch myself and go like, I don't really need this whole bowl of
oh
soup.
my God, Crystal.
So
So excited for you. Isn't that
yeah,
such a cool experience?
it is. And yeah, and just I know that these are going to be permanent changes because
Yeah,
because the anger that I've been holding
on.
under my whole life, because I was supposed to be the good girl and the person who doesn't get angry and
Yeah.
stays calm, cool, and collected, in crisis modes. I'm very much the non-anxious present. That's my training in being with people who are in crisis. So, but then obviously I've been stuffing my own feelings down, giving myself, you handled that very well, very professionally, and then underneath, those feelings still have to go somewhere. I'm human.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's awesome, Crystal. Thank you so much for the update. I'm so glad you're having that experience because that is super, super common to have. So it sounds like you really tapped in. It's really hard. This is a really good example. Crystal's example is a really good example of somebody that was able to really connect with their true anger, which is super hard to do. I did not, it took me a year to get there when I first started doing this. Crystal, I don't know where you went.
yeah, they lower my hand automatically. So yeah, Kim was very, very good at
Guiding
having a
you.
coach leading you through. I find that invaluable.
Yeah, so you guys will do that. They'll do that. I think what they do is they like put everybody on mute for the tapping circle calls, the self-sabotage calls, and you guys will all scream together and they'll like teach you, they'll hold space for you to do this together. So so you'll get them kind of walking you through how to do this. But yeah, it really comes out as like a primal, like just something that you've never heard before. I remember the first time I heard it, it was like wild animals were coming out of my body. So sounds like
Yeah, my dog just kind of like perked up, and
Yeah.
I could tell she was like distressed. Does she need me? Does she not need me?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
But yeah. So
Thank you for sharing,
very
Crystal.
pleased, very
I'm
pleased. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Keep coming and keep checking in with me. Yeah, thanks. Okay, Rhonda. Hi, how are you? I saw you tapping. You okay? Oops, I muted you back. Hi.
Yeah, thank you. Glad to be here. I signed up about 5 months ago.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
I think you're my longest follower.
That's,
You
yeah,
come to all my webinars for years. I remember your name. I know you very well.
and so with actually being in Thrive now, actually gained some weight,
Oh,
and
yeah. Sometimes that happens.
I'm diabetic, and my blood sugar jumped up higher than it's been in a while. And
Rhonda, is that because you're giving yourself, you relaxed your rules around eating and you're giving yourself permission to eat certain foods, or?
I hadn't until maybe about a month ago, 6 weeks ago. I just decided I'm just not going to have any rules.
Okay,
And then simultaneously, I was doing a lot of tapping.
good.
And, fast forward to this past weekend. I was with family because we were celebrating the birth of my great nephew, and I went out to dinner, out to lunch with my sisters, and I ordered like, all healthy stuff, and I wasn't bothered by what they were eating. And then went to my sister's house later and spent the weekend there. And I brought healthy food with me, and I made healthy breakfast for them that one morning. And that morning I realized, oh, I didn't even go into the secret stash of Hershey's Kisses I have in one of the cabinets. And I didn't, go for the Frito Scoops or there's this, I think it's Special K blueberry cereal, which actually has a lot of sugar in it. And I didn't go for that. It's like I didn't go for all of my, being around the family stress foods.
Okay, great.
Really surprised.
Awesome.
And the tapping I've been doing, it's been releasing a lot of tears. I've been tapping with my therapist, who's, even though she's not a tapper, she's supporting me in tapping.
Awesome.
And tapping in person with a buddy.
Great.
Live online with a buddy, and in the buddy groups.
Rhonda, I have a suggestion. Can I tell you what's coming through for me, for you? There's something about when we lift the deprivation, the part of us that's felt deprived and controlled kind of like acts up, right? It's like if you keep a kid, I don't know if you have kids, but like if you're really controlling with kids, they end up being really much more rebellious, right? Once they like go off on their own. Whereas like parents that allow their kids to drink a little bit and are a little more relaxed with the rules, their kids have like more balance usually in life. I know this because I was raised Mormon and I went fucking crazy as soon as I had my freedom because everything was controlled around me. So that's kind of like what's happened. Like you've had your like little internal, Mormon kid really controlled and restricted. And now she's like, a freedom. And she is running around and she wants to eat everything. So there is, I think, you've been tapping for a really long time. I think there could be some really powerful phrases and tapping around just acknowledging that part that's been trapped and controlled. Like, hey, I'm so sorry I've been controlling you. Yeah, you want to just you want to eat everything in sight because I have kept you under lock and key for so long. Thank you for following the rules. And I'm so sorry I made it so hard on you. And I know you want to eat everything. I know you want to try everything and you don't ever, you're afraid that I'm going to put the rules back on you again. And so I think just having a dialogue with that part of you, apologizing for keeping her so locked away, and then also thanking her for following the rules and for grin and bearing it for so long. I think that will really help. It happens with every single person. Whenever you stop dieting, it happens with every single person. You almost can't stop dieting without having a backlash. So it's just how long does the backlash take to resolve? So that's what we want to do now is instead of, I know the fear will want you to go back to the dieting and back to the control because that's where you were thinner and that was your safe space. But I want to encourage you, if you can, to stick it out and to try to do some tapping and some rebel tapping on this. Like, I just want to fucking eat everything. Don't fucking tell me what to do. Fuck you. I'm going to eat whatever the fuck I want and you can't do anything about it. So I think giving her a voice and letting her be mad at you would be really, really helpful right now. And it will probably soften the backlash.
Sounds good.
Is anybody else experiencing that right now? Is anybody else going through that? Oh, cool. Okay. Oh, good. We have like 8 people. Okay, awesome. Were those words helpful for you guys? The phrases? Yeah. Okay. Okay, cool.
I feel like almost like I didn't know I had this backlash because I've just been telling myself, well, I'm just trying to eat healthy foods. So,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not.
It needs an acknowledgement part because you just let it out of a cage and you just like didn't even say goodbye. You didn't even like have a conversation with it. You've kept it trapped this whole time. And then you're like, all right, now you can go. Right. So it's mad at you. It doesn't understand what's going on. It doesn't know when you're going to put it back in the cage. So it feels like it has to eat everything before you put it back in the cage. Right. So yeah, Susan's laughing. Yeah, right. So you need to have a conversation with that part of you. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks, Rhonda. Thanks for asking that question because so many other people were thinking that, and none of them had their hands up too. So you had your hand up for everybody. Love how that works. Okay, Ellie, you're next, and then Kim's next after that. Hey, Ellie.
Hi, this is my first call that I've been able to join, so happy to be here. And I'm in San Antonio, so I think we're neighbors, which is
Oh,
really cool.
that is awesome.
Yeah. So the big thing for me, it's weird how like week by week there are certain themes, but this week
Yeah, it
the
is, isn't it?
big yeah, the this week that's been coming up for me, I have a lot of like life events this year, a lot of friends getting married, bachelorette parties. And so a big thing that has been coming up for me as I've been tapping is like this discovery of like this agreement that I've made of like I am the fat friend
Oh.
and like working through that of like I don't need that anymore. I can stand out for my gifts and my talents and not my weight. I don't or even like a lot of the tapping I've been doing is about like I don't not playing second fiddle to anyone, like being able to be comfortable being the center of attention. So just curious if you have any thoughts to kind of expand and deepen that.
You know, you've heard me say this to a couple people, I think so far, is I don't like to focus on the problem. I like to let the food take you there. And if the food is taking you there, um, the food, if this is a theme, which it sounds like it is for you, the food will continue to take you there. So the only time I see people not get results in this program is when they're like, oh my God, there's this whole can of worms and I had this really horrible relationship with my dad. And now here's all the memories that I have with my dad and I need to tap on that. That works in regular tapping, but when you want to heal your relationship with food and your identity around being an emotional eater and all of that, that is connected to the food and the disordered eating.
Mhm.
So make sure to focus in on doing the push the food away when you want to eat. You know, you're not really hungry. Doing the anger work. Really tackling all the cravings with the ball of light. Those are the things, any kind of body boundary violation, but always start with the food. Body boundary violation is the one exception where you can start with something that happened to you. The food doesn't have to take you there.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, awesome. Thanks for the question. All right, Kim, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hi.
Hi, Kim.
Okay. So I did the 2-week purge,
Oh,
and I did it probably 3 times really good and another 4 times mini. I'm still having trouble with anger work. When I first came on, I talked to you and you said, go do anger work.
yeah.
I can't get it out. I've had now a few experiences where it's literally like a volcano bubbling up in me, and then my throat closes and
Okay.
it won't to let it out.
Okay.
And one of the times that was a good one, I was screaming into a pillow and I started coughing, and I coughed till I threw up, and I have a really bad back and it wrecked my back. And that goes back to when I first ended up on disability because of coughing, because a patient coughed in my face and gave me double pneumonia, and I wrecked my back and couldn't go back to work.
Interesting.
I'm wondering and so I'm still trying to do anger work.
Okay. So Kim,
But
can I ask you a question?
yes,
Okay. Who would be upset if you allow yourself to really get as angry as you want to get?
probably me. I don't know. I've never been angry in 60 years. I've never been allowed to.
Who will be somebody will be disappointed, something will have to change. What will it mean if you really allow yourself to get angry? What will that mean?
Yeah, those all scare the crap out of me, those questions.
So do you have, but your answers to that are going to be the thing that's blocking you from the anger. That's the thing that's stuck in your throat.
Yeah.
So answering those questions will give you the clues as to what's stopping you. Also, I know in the Facebook group we have resistance to anger tapping.
I've done quite a bit of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I might add like what will change if I really allow myself to get angry. What will change? What will be different about my life? There something.
Yeah, because I'm scared to change for sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what I would do is I would just make a list of all the things that could potentially change. Maybe I'll get better. Maybe I'll, I don't know what your reasons are, right?
Yeah.
But write the answers down on a piece of paper and then tap on that fear of change. That's the thing that's blocking you from the anger. And then don't even worry about anger until you do that fear part of it. And then on a separate day, go back to the anger and then see if you're able to get a little bit deeper.
Okay. Yeah. One of the things I've been working on is, being healthy means I can or I cannot. And trying to figure that out. That was suggested to me by Helmy. And I'm having trouble figuring that one out.
Oh, okay.
Both sides of that.
Yeah, sometimes just like in the morning, sometimes having that on a sheet of paper, like in like a journal in the morning, and instead of trying to figure it out, have that written at the top of a piece of paper, right? Like right here. And then as soon in the morning, just answer the question. Don't like try to get your logical brain out of the way.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes if you're thinking about it too hard, it can you can block the answers.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I'm still, like I say, I'm working against myself in so many ways. I still haven't cried. I want to cry. I've given myself, gone, had opportunities, and I can't get it out. And if I don't get mad right in the minute, like say I can't because there's people in the house or something, if I shut it down, I might be shut down for a week.
Yeah.
Is that like, is there a way of getting it back up again to a boiling point?
I think I don't want to give you too much right now. I think let's just have you focus on answering those questions.
Okay.
And figuring out what's stopping you. And then in 2 weeks, come back here and let's talk about the next thing and tell me what happened over the next 2 weeks. Tap on that stuff and then let's come back and address the next thing.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks, Kim. All right. Ingrid and then Christina's next.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm so excited. I've had lots of wins. I missed the first call because thank you so much for your warnings. Like when you said do the 300 things and you're like, when you start this, everything's going to come in to block you. It was crazy. And I heard you say it and repeat it. And I was like, okay, I'm okay. And I can come back to it. And I forced myself to finish my 300 questions. And there's just so much stuff that's come up between, but I was a super cheese eater. Like I literally couldn't not eat cheese. And I'm not free from cheese. Like when I go shopping, I don't even think about it. I don't even think about it. And it's
free from cheese.
I did it on candy. I'm free from candy. My sons, I don't buy a bunch of sugar things anymore because I literally would. I'd go in waves where I would buy just cartfuls of everything, especially because it's Easter. I would eat the Peeps and everything. And it's not even like I'm like, I don't want to feel gross after I eat that. So my sons have
Awesome.
like resorted to eating weird rando things in our pantry to get sweet stuff.
Oh my God.
And today I had now the listening to everyone is actually really awesome because I did some boundary tapping. I just did a little bit. And the next day I had a fight with two of my sons and my husband. And I was like yelling about these things, but I felt like, you know what I mean? Like stuck and kind of minimized, like I couldn't move because I need them to move first.
Yeah.
And I just thought to myself, well, she warned, if you do the boundary tapping, you see this. And and because of listening to everyone, today I was like really angry. There was a thing, I had a plan, the plan did not work out, and it was a big plan. It was really time sensitive and it didn't work out. And so now I have to like recalibrate. But I was ridiculously angry today. Like my youngest son was just like, ugh. And he texted me when I was like calling a friend. I should have been tapping and bitching, but I didn't think about it. So my son texted me and he's like, I'm so sorry you're so angry at me. And I'm like, I'm not angry at you. I'm angry at myself because I'm like, I'm so out of control right now. I'm like, I can't even believe it. And now I'm like, okay, ladies, I I got slowed down and I wanted to go through all the modalities first. So I'm about to finish. I think I need to do the chocolate craving another, and then I can move on to not the third lesson.
Okay.
But I just it's been really exciting. I've made some big things. And you just said you were Mormon, and I was like, what? Because I've been
Are you
breaking
Mormon
away from
too?
that. Yes.
No way. Oh, funny.
100%. And it's been crazy to break away from that because, and I literally before I found you, I stopped going to church and everything because I realized a lot of my trauma was with that. And I had to break that habit and work on my guilty feelings of not going to church because you know how it goes. And then I found you and I found a lot of stuff. I found some other things. And like every time I get stuck, I'm like, I obviously need to tap first. The tapping allows me to do more stuff. And you said that you're like tap on the food, you'll free you up in so many places. And it's been amazing. And I've been trying to do things online. I made my first buddy today and Karen, she talked earlier. I'm really
Awesome.
excited. But I'm really grateful. I'm really grateful.
Thanks, Ingrid. I'm
So-
so happy you found me, and yeah, what a joy to help a fellow LDS survivor.
The only thing I really struggle with is procrastination and organization.
You know what? I'm pretty sure they have a tapping for procrastination script in the Facebook group under files.
Okay.
That's a pretty common one that I think they've got some good scripts around. The coaches have put those together over the years.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm really so grateful.
Yeah, I'm so glad to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too.
Yeah, glad you're having success. Thanks, Ingrid. Okay, talk soon. Okay, Christina, and then Michelle is next.
Hi. I just wanted to let you know I had this amazing weekend. I went to a party with my family. I have a really big family, and with all my siblings and stuff. And when I did the cravings for the ball of light, I did the ball of light and the party one. But I also did it on buttercream because I had this like, oh my gosh, thing about buttercream, especially on cake. If it's in the house, I can't stop eating the stuff. And so when I did the ball of light, it was not only just, I was passing it between my mom and me and my mom, but then it went to me and my grandma. And then all of a sudden it started like, I was passing it back and forth. And then it started going back generations. And it was like I was seeing flashes of all the different, family, women in my family all the way back. And it just went on and on and on. And then when it came back, the ball of light came back to me. It wasn't just this little ball of light anymore. It was like this huge ball of light. And it was just absolutely life-changing for me. It was just incredible. And I just felt so much love and so much support from all the generations back that I felt like it really helped me face a lot of the trauma that has happened in my life with I was And so when I went to the party, um, I went there. I made this huge, beautiful cake and Helmy like taught me how to do, because my little girl really wanted to learn, like she was showing me all her cakes and I was like, I want to learn to do that. So she spent a whole day like showing me how to make the swirls with potatoes, mashed potatoes. And I was able to make this beautiful cake and I took it to my family and everybody had some. And what was really cool is that I cut everybody a slice and I got myself a slice and I didn't eat the whole thing. Like I always eat the whole thing. Like that's like, if I get my piece, I'm going to eat the whole thing, you know? And so that was like huge for me. And then I was able to like, when I made my plate of food, like my little plate of food for um, like cheese, and I only ate half of it, and I always finish the plate and go back for more. I only had my one plate of food, and like, and I ate a little bit of. I just ate till I felt full, and I never feel full. Like I never feel full, and so it was just huge. And
Dang.
yeah, so I wanted to share with that. And then what's been happening is I have a lot of trauma. And so that helped me, like getting that big ball of light and love from my mom's side of the family. It really helped because I have so much trauma on my dad's side. I was um, sexually abused by my grandfather from the time I was 3 till I was 13.
Oh,
So,
I'm so sorry, Christina.
so it's really hard to go through all that stuff and really deal with. And then, looking at all the stuff. So what's happening is with the echo tapping, I just get cloud. Like I get clouds and clouds. I don't see like a smoke screen and I don't get anything. And so what I've been doing is I joined the tapping circle because I just felt like I needed more coaching to get through stuff.
Awesome.
And so they helped me like, and I knew I needed to do anger work, but I didn't want to do it by myself. So
Yeah.
that I went and did the modules with them. And then I did the purge. And so what's happening now is the first week I did some huge, like I did 5. I misheard you and I thought I was supposed to do 5 every week. So I did 5 the first week and I had like a huge body memory, like huge, that like of one of the rape occurrences. And it was really hard. And I called my coach and went through that. And then I did it again and I took a couple of days off after that finally came up.
Okay.
And then, but then the next week started, I'm like, okay, well, let's do this again. And then and so what's happening is I was angry at my ex-husband for stuff he's doing to my son. I was mad. And so I said, well, I'm just going to do some anger work about this because I need to do my anger anyway. So, but then as I was doing the anger work on my ex-husband, stuff came up, memory stuff came up with my grandfather. So I'm a little like trying to like put that together. I mean, they got a few personalities, which kind of make me really sick to find out that my ex-husband has some personality similarities with my grandfather. So that kind of like freaked me out a little bit the other night when I put that together. But
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, where do I go now? Because I know I'm working on boundary work with my coach, but I'm kind of like, okay, now where do I go from here?
Okay. Wow, Christina, you're doing so much work. And yeah, I'm just like, I'm so happy that you found us. And I'm so happy that you're here. And I'm so happy that you have all of the support that you do and that you're like asking for, well, you have a coach, you're in the tapping circle, which is awesome. So, I mean, I can't even put words to like what happened to you. I'm so fucking sorry that happened. And that's what we do here. So you're in the right place. I think, okay. So just to answer your question about why your grandfather is coming up when you're tapping on your ex-husband, sometimes when we go, well, most of the time when we have memories, they're stacked on top of each other. And often, this is why when we push the food away, when we do the push the food away, the echo tapping, we do 3 rounds because usually there's 3 memories on top. It's like 3 legs make a stool. And so when you take the 3 legs away, then the stool collapses. That has no more legs. Sometimes if you just take one away, the stool collapses, but we like to get all 3. So often when we are tapping on something, if another memory is popping up, it's connected to that stool in your mind. so it's just like part of the thing. Like you could have kept tapping on your X, that would have been fine. And then, or you could have switched and gone, if you were in therapy with me, I would probably have guided you to go to the earlier thing that was more traumatic. But when you're doing it with yourself and you don't have a coach, I would just tackle whatever feels comfortable, whatever you feel like you can tackle in that moment.
Okay. Because I was doing anger, like just pounding the pillow, and that's when I was like, okay, now what do I do with this? Okay, so I'll tap on it and then just go for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good. And I'm so glad you did so much purging. I think that's great for you. Tapping, doing purge work with body boundary violation is going to be huge for you. For, anybody that's experienced body boundary violation, you want to, you want to combine the anger work and the body boundaries, in the same session if you can. So yeah. Thanks, Christina.
Thank
You're doing
you.
so great. I'm so glad you're here and can't wait to see how your journey, how you progress over the coming months. Yeah. Thanks, Christina. Okay, Michelle and then Christine will be our last check-in. Hey, Michelle.
I don't know if I've ever said hi before, but I've been around.
I've seen you. Yeah, you're usually just an observer. Thanks for raising your hand today.
Yeah, I've been working on the purge thing too. This anger
How's
stuff
that going? It's intense, isn't it?
it's absolutely off the charts. When I began it, I just felt like a shook up pop bottle. I was just, my whole body was just effervescing, and I felt like the top of my head split off from the rest of my head, and I felt like the stuff was coming out in this space between the top of my head and this space, and that went on for days, and it was like totally blowing my mind. But I kept going, and I mean, exhausted. I'm sleeping like 12 hours a night because I'm exhausted. But
that's a really good sign.
I noticed something yesterday. My blood pressure, which had high blood pressure for over 20 years, and it came down. I mean, I take medicine for it, which kind of keeps it where it's within reason. Well, it has gone down to where it's really normal for like a normal person, not me.
No way, Michelle. Oh my God.
I just want to share that.
Yes.
It's like mind blowing.
That is
mind
blowing.
My head came back together. So it's really weird. I've been walking around with this thing, but it's
all the pressure left your body.
I'll tell you. And what Christine was saying a few minutes ago, how she was working on her ex-husband and stuff came up about her grandfather. I'm working on my mother, and I can't keep working. I mean, I'm exhausted with overworking on my mother, but I realized the connection to one of my ex-husbands. Some of the things that my mother did, he popped up. So it's amazing how many things are connected. But boy, I just want to tell everybody, just keep going. Don't stop. Just take breaks, but keep going, because I know we're going to get there. We're going to get there. I just know it.
Oh my God, Michelle. Thank you so much for saying that. I love this transformation for you. It sounds like you had like a Kundalini experience or something.
I don't know. I swear to God, I don't even drink soda, but I felt like a soda bottle that someone shook up. Oh my Lord.
Oh, it was all that pressure you've been keeping down with the medicine. It's now left your body. It can.
Oh my God, it's been something else. Anyway, I'm so grateful. I can't tell you how grateful I am, and I'm going to keep going. I feel like molasses going uphill because I'm very slow, but I'm not going to stop. I'm just going to keep going.
I love your determination. Thank you so much for sharing that win with everybody, because I bet that was was that helpful for everybody to hear? Was that inspiring? Yes.
Thanks to everyone.
Thanks, Michelle, for sharing. Oh my gosh, that's so fun. Okay, Christine, our last check-in. Hey,
Hello. Hi. Just to get it out, I just want to say that for me, I feel a huge resistance to facing what I have inside that's holding me back in two areas of life. And I feel like there's something in there that's dark and that like wants to hurt me and like threaten me. And it's very scary to think about going there. And so like today I just tried to, basically talk to it like my subconscious and just say, hey, I know you're trying to protect me. I get that you're trying to make me feel safe, but I made a list on 2 pages that actually started to come up with what resources I had available to me should I feel like so scared or feel like something wants to hurt me, that, what could I do? Because I don't want to take my place. I don't want to get myself into a position where I feel so horrible that it doesn't feel safe. And so I
Christine, do
just,
you have
I
a
was like,
coach? Do you have a
what's that?
one-on-one? Do you have a one-on-one coach?
No, like I literally just started the program. Like I bought the program like a couple days before I was leaving the country for 3 weeks. I work out of town, so I fly on a plane 3 weeks, three times a week, and then I work 12-hour days when I'm at work. So I literally have rearranged my schedule so that because I can choose my schedule, I'm very thankful. And so I've taken now I'm just going to work like 2 weeks on and 2 weeks off so that I have time to do this because on my weeks off, I'm just not
Awesome.
available. So because I know like what you said about, you'll find a way to not do it. And I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I'm facing it. I'm not
Great.
finding a way. It's just, I signed up February 9th, but I was literally out of the country for 3 weeks. And then my
Okay.
cousin and his wife came to visit for a
Okay.
week. So
Okay.
I'm ready.
Okay,
And,
cool.
and
Let's
I
get
have,
you a coach. Let's get you a coach. Will you reach out to Sally and she can connect you with a coach?
and is it possible to start with like, 1 or 2 times just to see who I connect with? Because I know there's something where you can have one for 12 months for 12 sessions, or you can maybe try just to have one to see that it's a good fit. Does it work
Yeah.
like that?
No, we don't, they're
You don't do a trial?
yeah, we don't do that. It's just hard in our back end system. And then there's just too many logistics with that. So all of our coaches are amazing though. So there's nobody.
And is it okay that for me then that when I signed up for this, even though food for me is like a 10 to 15 pound, thing, it's still very significant for being too afraid to shine and being in danger and being vulnerable and
All of that will come up.
all of it.
All of that
Yeah,
will
I
come up.
just mean that even though there's food, it's really about the fact that I'm really resourceful, and that's to my detriment when I'm so good at hiding, when I'm so good at, and so I haven't been living my best life. So yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're saying just get a coach?
Yeah, I would, yeah, talk to Sally, tell her, she can tell you about the different coaches because she knows them really well. And then you can kind of pick from her description. She'll kind of tell you about both of them, and then you can decide.
Okay.
I think if they have space, I don't know if they all still have space, but that's a Sally question. So there might just be 1 or 2 with space. I think we only have 3 coaches right now that are taking clients. So talk to her about that. She'll give you the info, and then start working with the coach, because I can tell you've got a lot of stuff that's up for you right now. And if you can swing it, I think that's the best way to go for you.
Yeah, I definitely want a coach. I always like to kind of have an idea. I guess I like the idea behind knowing that the coach that I have is going to work for me. And yeah, it's just nice to check that.
It doesn't matter the coach, and it doesn't matter the tapping. When you apply it in the right way, it always works. So it's not, the coaching isn't going to like work or not work. It's the tapping that works, right?
Sorry, my niece is calling, but yes, I'm just deleting that. Yeah. That my niece is calling on FaceTime, and so
Okay,
she's
no worries, Christina.
that's-
I'm about to get off because I have to pee. So thanks for
Oh.
checking in.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Thank
All
you.
right.
Okay.
Thank you guys for the great call today. Thank you for those of you who asked questions, and yeah, this was a fantastic call. And we covered so much ground. So I can't wait to check in with you guys again. We didn't do any. I would say let's keep the purge and the push the food away.
Brittany, there is down here that Lisa that's been on. She doesn't have a picture, but her hand is up.
Oh, I can't see anybody, and I don't know how to unmute. I can't even see who's talking to me right now. Sorry, I don't know how to get that done. And I have to pee. I'm sorry. I have to jump off. Raise your hand or you've got to put your video on to raise your hand in order for me to see it. If you don't have your video on, then I won't see your hand. Okay. Thanks everybody. Have a great rest of your week. Bye everybody.